Okay, so I just finished The Last of Us 2, like not even an hour ago. And I'm just here to give some first impressions. It's not going to be super comprehensive, but I may make a video later on the actual review of the game, but this is just my first impressions of the game. I guess just in case you haven't played the game yet, non-spoiler, this game looks amazing, but I'm sure the visuals are already doing the talking for you. Um, and how do you give a non-spoiler review of this game? It looks amazing. The combat is the same but more improved. So if you like the combat in Last of Us 1, you'll like this. If you play The Last of Us 1, I urge you to at least make your way through this game, or watch someone play it if you don't feel like it. But as a Last of Us fan, it is worth it. And just to put down my credentials, I played The Last of Us 1. I loved the story. I really didn't. I thought the gameplay was okay, but it was fine. But the story and most importantly, the characters in Last of Us 1 were absolutely amazing. I played Uncharted 4, and I've watched the other three. However, Uncharted 4 is one of my favorite games of all time, so Naughty Dog is up there for me. Every time they release a game, it's like Christmas. But let's talk about Last of Us 2 now. That hopefully, if you don't want spoilers, you've already got the memo. But it's gonna be spoilers from here on out. I'm just gonna talk about the game. Um, I don't think that this game would have worked if Last of Us 1 was not good. The story that they try to tell here really relied on you knowing Last of Us 1, and if you didn't, then well, this game really wouldn't work for you. But Joel's death, it was really shocking. However, I think the more I played on, the more I came to terms with it, and thought it was fine. There was a lot of parallelism in the story of this game, and that's what I really like about the story. Last of Us 1 was a very linear story, but Last of Us 2 is much more complicated. It's a very ambitious game. And on a story perspective, there was a lot of parallels. You know, how Jesse was shot by Abby in the theater, and later when you play as Abby, and you play with Manny, I'm like, oh no, Manny is gonna die, and I predicted that. There's a lot of parallelism, like you kill this, you kill that, like you kill my father. Joel killed Jerry, who is Abby's father, so then Abby killed Joel, who is kind of Ellie's father. And there was a lot of this back and forth revenge stuff. And what really got there was that point where they could have killed Dina, but Abby didn't. Abby was actually the bigger person here, and ended the loop of revenge by sparing Ellie and Dina. And I guess it was kind of like a divine saving, because Abby spared Ellie. Ellie later came back and saved Abby and also spared her. It's thematically the story is pretty good. I would say. The combat, I liked it. I liked the clunkiness, and I know that sounds weird, but yeah, it was clunky, but it felt grounded. The melee combat, the brutality was absolutely amazing, and the exploration does leave a lot to be desired. But also, like the places in this game, they're so incredible. Like Seattle, there was the Sky Bridge that was memorable. There was the theme park, the aquarium, and Santa Barbara, the burning village Haven. That was all amazing. Really dig that. Now, part of the game that I definitely didn't dig as much was the characters. Joel is an amazing character. He was an amazing character, and he still is in this game. They didn't change anything about Joel. Ellie, some people say that they completely changed Ellie's character. which I don't think is completely true. There are still bits of Ellie there. However, Ellie has gone through a dramatic change. She's no longer sarcastic, goofy, funny, and all that. But there are little moments where you see Ellie's rage coming in, and I think the moment where Ellie just brutally murdered Melanoan. Again, she didn't have much of a choice, but when that scene was going on, I was just thinking, wow, if Joel was there, he would have kept Ellie's rage in check. And yeah, Joel, even though he shows up very little, he's such an impactful character. From a story emotional flashback perspective, I think. And talking about other characters, Tommy's just Tommy. He's fine. Jesse is a really fun character. Yeah, I kind of did dig Jesse. Uh, he kind of lightened up the mood whenever he was in the game, and his death really came as a shock. Probably one of the more unexpected deaths for me. And Dina. Dina was not my favorite character, to say the least. I thought Dina's character was very flat, although please don't give the actress or voice actor any problem. If it was anyone's problem, if it was anyone's issue, it was probably the writers. But Dina just felt really flat of a character, and I did turn around towards the end and like Dina much more. However, throughout the majority of the game, I didn't like Dina that much. And I have to say, how this game told the story was really something that I've never seen before personally, where it goes Ellie's perspective and then flashback, same game again with Abby's perspective. And your Abby playthrough, you talk to a lot of people, see a lot of dogs that you know are going to die, and there's kind of that dramatic irony that kicks in, that you know what's going to happen. And when they mention places like the hospital, the hotel, you know what happens when you play through that route with Ellie. So there's all that dramatic irony that is just really good from a storytelling perspective. However, Abby's character, it just makes sense that after Joel saved Abby, Abby just turned around and murdered him immediately without hesitant. But it makes sense that she does kill him. However, I think how it was executed was a tad bit unrealistic. Especially because in later, Lev and Yara saves Abby, and Abby ends up saving them back. So there was no remorse there for Joel, I guess, but maybe this is something like Abby learned throughout this game, how to be a good person. But it just doesn't go that fast, and it was a gradual thing through the game, but nothing really ticked it off. I guess, I don't know. I did like Abby's character, though, at the end. The part where you played as Abby and was trying to fight Ellie, that part almost broke my heart, because I thought the game was going to make you play as Abby. The game was trying to, make this the new main character, which Abby isn't. She shares the spotlight. She shouldn't take over and just kill them, but thank goodness that Abby didn't. And there's also the weird parts towards the end that I don't know what the continuity was. The prisoner says that Abby was bitten, so that's why she was taken out when she tried to escape. Maybe I heard that wrong. Again, I haven't watched anything. I just finished the game. But what Abby does later is great, and Abby and Lev's relationship is it's good. So I do think that Abby is a routine character and did that pretty well. Apart from that, her whole squadron of people, they're all assholes, except for, well, Manny's a fun dude, but he's an asshole, so his death was like, oh, well, he's an ass. Owen's death was really heartbreaking, because, I mean, even though he did go attack Ellie, and then Ellie had to shoot him in self-defense, but still, Owen was a genuinely nice and positive guy. Probably one of the only nice and positive guys in this entire story. Everyone was so incredibly dark and gritty. Owen was a happy little spotlight, and I'm just, I think Owen is probably my favorite character in this game. Well, minus all the old characters, Owen's my favorite newly introduced character, just from a personality basis. You know, the dude did cheat on his wife, which was kind of fucked up, but, well, not wife, pregnant girlfriend. But the guy's just so happy-go-lucky. He's such a positive influence. And everyone kind of, you know, you kind of want that positive influence guy in your life, and Owen is that guy. I think the world in this game was very well expanded on. You took a lot of different perspectives about what the cult is doing, what the Seraphites are doing, what the wolves are thinking. There's a lot of different perspectives in this game, and you get to experience how you kind of get the vibe of how these people develop in this world. The Santa Barbara part was, well, you don't really get to see what those villains are doing, but I don't know. Those guys were kind of fucked up, and plus that was the final bit of the story, so I guess there wasn't really time to expand on that. The middle section, where after Abby beats the hell out of Ellie. Ellie goes home to the farm. I really thought that was going to be the end, and I was going to be kind of disappointed. But also, I was saying, like, Ellie, don't go. Please, God, give up the revenge story, because at this point, I was also invested in Abby, and I did not want Abby to die. And I think just Abby and Ellie's story was handled really well. I don't... definitely does not hold up to the story of... the characters, at least, of Last of Us 1. The story, I think, they're both compelling in their own ways. But overall, I have to say, I am quite satisfied with Last of Us 2, despite what people say. I know this is a very divisive game, but I really like this game. There was a lot of moments that were kind of sluggish, especially like day 1 and was it day 1 and day 2? Yeah, day 1 and day 2 Ellie in Seattle. It was really kind of sluggish. And I think Ellie's entire part was just done kind of poorly. I was a little bit disappointed with Ellie's part, but everything else they did in this game was great. I'm not sure if there's going to be a Last of Us 3. I don't really know where it's go, and also where it's going to go. But also at the end, Ellie went back to the farm, but everything was packed up. So does that mean Dina moved back to Jackson? I'm not completely sure. But anyways, yeah, those were my thoughts on The Last of Us 2. Those were my first impressions. It's a pretty good game. I like the game. It's understandable if you don't, because the characters are really a slog, but just this world and the combat is something I'm really into, and that's what I think the main selling point of this game is probably going to be if you can tolerate the combat or not, because it's a refined version of Last of Us 1, and there's so much of it in this game, which is great, but there's not that many puzzles. However, it makes sense, and you know, when you're really in there, it makes you feel stressful, and just all these gameplay moments, the set pieces, the level design, all of this is really gonna, you know, make or break your experience with this game, if you like it or not. And personally, I liked it. And yeah, that's it, Last of Us 2. Personally, I think I'll give it a 8 out of 10. That's my thoughts on this game. But yeah, anyways, this is a very improvised video. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.